you should be seeking out. These are my top 5 best. How's it going, guys? My name's DPJ and today I'll bring you another BR3 video. If you do enjoy it, leaving a like really helps me out, and subscribe if you do want to see more. Okay, so in total, weapon wise, I believe there are 15 new on offer, which come from the Revenge of the Cartels event and the Mayhem 6 Plus exclusive variants. Today I bring you my top 5 best. Now obviously opinions will differ, this is just my opinion, so instead of going crazy at me for not mentioning your favourite new legendary, instead leave a comment telling me why I missed a treat, with that said, weapon, and why you think I overlooked it. I mean, there's no shame on my behalf giving a weapon a second look. Okay, so getting into my top 5 new best legendaries. And in at number 5 we have nothing other than the fish slap grenade. Now this fish slap grenade, I understand for some people out there, isn't really the kind of thing they'd be looking for, as it for the most part can't help your build out unless it's based on this grenade, or something close to it, that being melee damage. I say this because no matter the random prefixes that can come on this grenade, its main purpose and party trick is the fact this grenade's damage is melee damage. So let's say for instance you have a shield with that roid prefix on, 80% melee damage while shields are depleted. While that works with this grenade, if you have a shield like this one with 2 times that roid prefix on, well, that adds damage to this grenade, 180% over standard damage, which you can see on screen now. You can also, as I'm sure you know, get additional melee damage from other sources, including level 57 class mods giving you an additional 50+% melee damage. Again, that adds damage to this grenade. But it doesn't end there, guys, because this grenade and its hits actually counts as melee damage. It also triggers perks on anything you have, which we usually see a melee on an enemy is needed. For instance, let's say you're using this artifact right here, or a variant of it, the Planetoid. Deals 75% bonus elemental damage whenever you melee an enemy. Elemental type changes every 5 seconds. Well, this comes into play with this grenade too, check this out. As you can see with the random damage numbers popping off dealing other elemental damage, which is pretty cool. This one right here, slides build up a static charge causing your next melee attack to do 50% bonus shock damage. That also changed to nearby enemies, but also guys, melee attacks replenish ammo. Check this out in action. Or even ones like this that add a certain element to your melee attacks too. These work wonders also. So yeah, it's why I've added it to my top 5. I mean, this grenade, without taking advantage of its actual purposes, isn't anywhere near the best grenade in the game, but using it to its fullest potential and you could create something we ain't seen before. Whether you create a grenade build around this or whether it helps out with your melee build. And to be honest, that's why it's here, because of just how unique it is. Now the fish slap is a grenade exclusive to the Revenge of the Cartels event and drops upon the Villa Ultraviolet from Fish Slap himself, which is kinda obvious, but people are also reporting it dropped from Tyrone Smullins too. So you know where to get this thing, people, if it does appeal to you. Okay, so we're going to move on, and in at number 4 is a new doll SMG, the Chaosin. Now the Chaosin is a new exclusive SMG to Mayhem 6 and above, and it drops from Captain Trant upon Athenas and comes offering all elements. It can also drop in a variety of different variants too, some with bigger magazine size but less damage, and vice versa. And also being able to switch between any 2 modes of full auto, semi-auto and burst fire. Its party trick is its projectiles stick and then later explode, no matter where you hit that enemy. Body, head, doesn't matter. Now upon my testings of this, it seriously surprised me. Little did I think it would be quite the monster it actually is. Those sticky projectiles, which later explode, make this weapon, as each one adds 100% additional bonus damage over the initial shot. And because there is a slight delay upon you landing those shots, it feels like you are still shooting and dealing damage even when you are reloading it, because those damage numbers are still popping off. Now SMGs for the most part ain't really on that damage scale in terms of possible DPS caused. Yes, there are the odd few in the game which are up there, but for the most part there are just other things on offer better than SMGs for DPS. I mean, the redistributor is great if adds are close together. I mean, it can't be beat in that instance. The Cutsman's an absolute monster, which we all know about, but there ain't many other SMGs which I can think of off the top of my head which really stand out, without a crazy build behind them boosting that damage. This one though is definitely up there, and it's also thanks to its crazy fire rate, and because it's a very accurate gun, laying down that damage is easy too. Its one letdown though is its mag size, with the more powerful variants having a reduced mag size. This can be compensated elsewhere though, and certain Vault Hunters can compensate this much better than others. Me playing on Zane, it isn't that simple, and to be honest guys, it's why I haven't put the Sanderhawk here. I mean, I main Zane. Yes, the Sanderhawk is a stupid powerful sniper, but it just shreds through its ammo way too quick. And I mean, I know it isn't a problem for some, but Zane mains out there, I'm sure you would agree, it just isn't as efficient as other snipers in the game, as we just have no way of getting back the ammo quick enough to lay down a constant damage output. But enough with the Sanderhawk, it's about the kills in here. And this little grey SMG I feel should be recognised a little more, and it's why it's at my number 4 spot. Okay, so moving on, and in number 3 we have the Monarch Assault Rifle. Now the Monarch is a Vladarov assault rifle which looks a lot like the Dictator, its older brother, but in my opinion it's better in almost every single way. Firstly, this Monarch is an exclusive drop on Mayhem 6 or above 2 kilovolts who can be located upon electricity, and it can drop offering all elements too, as well as no element. It comes as far as I'm aware in a 4x variant and an 8x variant. The 8x variants though do I believe swallow 2 ammo per shot. So this Monarch, like I said, is a lot like the Dictator, having 2 firing modes too, doubling up on the number of projectiles being shot, but its second firing mode, being at bipod mode, much like the Dictator, seriously reduces your mobility, because while in this mode you can't run or jump. Now this Monarch, comparing it to the Dictator, it fires its pellets in a much better and tighter way, making it way more easier to lay down that damage on a single target. It also comes with better variants too. Instead of a 3x and a 6x with the Dictator, we get a 4x and an 8x with the Monarch. It's also just a way more powerful weapon, and because its pellet spread is way easier to control and land that damage on that enemy, it makes for a much better weapon than the Dictator and an overall superb assault rifle, as in many instances this game throws at you, for the most part it can't be touched. Now upon my first testing this, I went into the slaughter shaft upon Mayhem 10, and I just tore through absolutely everything. It's also great at mounting bosses, and taking all this into account, it should really have one letdown, and it does, and that is just the fact of how quick this thing consumes its ammo. But if you can sort that problem out, which isn't that hard, we have a top tier assault rifle here people, one I do recommend you at least checking out and trying. Okay, so moving on, and in at number 2 we have the Yellow Cake Launcher. And man, oh man, this thing is utterly crazy. So this Yellow Cake is a weapon that drops offering only that radiation damage, and is an exclusive drop upon the Villa Ultraviolet and drops from Fishflap and Tyrone Smollens. Now upon me first getting this, I had a variant that dropped offering 42k damage, and that thing alone melted through everything I shot at on Mayhem 10. After making a video on it showcasing it to the world, I was then contacted by a dude on my Discord, which guys, if you ain't a part of already, you should definitely join and check out. I have a great Borderlands community full of people who love trading and so much more, linked in the video description if you do want to join. But this guy messaged me stating he had a 2x variant, so 42k damage times 2. I mean, yes, it does consume 2 ammo per shot, but who cares? It eats enemies for breakfast. So credit to Rupee Collector 3 for this version. But it got better people, because I was then sent this one right here, which is even more powerful, dealing 44k damage times 2. Anointment's obviously just making this thing even more brutal. And credit goes to Biff EFC for life for this one. Absolutely monster of a weapon. So what we have here guys is possibly the most powerful weapon in the game right now. Easily scoring millions in damage, numbers where bills ain't even added. Add those bills into the equation and what you have yourself is something special here. This thing fires a giant oozing projectile that splits into 2 and again splitting into a further 2, making 4 projectiles in total, all capable of devastating damage. So yes, if you are yet to get this Yellow Cake, do it before the Revenge of the Cartels event ends. Okay, so moving on. And lastly, my favourite and in my opinion the best weapon to come out of the Revenge of the Cartels event and Mayhem 6 Plus Legendaries is nothing other than the o.p.q system. Now the o.p.q system, for those that don't know, is basically a bigger and better version of its older brother the Q system, which before this was probably the best assault rifle in the game. That though being an epic variant, a legendary version had to be so much better, and it is. To be honest, I kind of feel sorry for the Q system now because that's going to be forgotten about, and it helped me through a lot of hard times. But the o.p.q system is here, and well, it's an utter monster. And I say this because of what this thing can do. We see on paper that this monster can drop on Mayhem 10 at a close to 10k damage times 2 per shot per single ammo consumed. So with that there, let's just say 20k a shot. From an assault rifle, that's crazy. Add builds and things on top of this and well, yeah. But it actually doesn't end there with this weapon, because it has many tricks. For one, it seems every second or third shot percentage wise fires a shock projectile, leaving about 50% of that initial damage. And no, this doesn't take away any extra ammo, and yes, you still get that standard shot at the same time as when shot comes into play. So this assault rifle is just on another level to anything this game offers. I mean, the Monarch is a beast, let's not get that twisted, but this just blows it out of the water. But this thing also has another party trick, and that is the fact it has a second firing mode in which you fire out a version of this weapon which follows you around and shoots at those enemies. And I mean, even though this is a great addition to the weapon, it isn't needed. The weapon would still be top of this list if this wasn't an option. I will say though, its o.p.q system mode is a lot of fun on moles, as you can spawn in loads of these at the same time. All you need is the sum for the road perk selected. Moles gains infinite ammo for a few seconds after exiting Iron Bear. Effect lasts 5 seconds. This means if you put the o.p.q system into the o.p.q system mode before getting into the Iron Bear, when you jump out you can just spam that trigger and it will spawn in tons of this weapon, which is a fun addition for most players. But yeah guys, the o.p.q system is an absolute must get before this event ends. Get as many variants as you can with all the anointments you think might be viable in the future, because once the Revenge of the Cartels event does end, so indeed does your chances in getting this thing. And that is that. So guys, those were my top 5 new legendaries which come from the Revenge of the Cartels event and the additions with Mayhem 6 Plus. Do what you gotta do to get any which appeal to you. And on that note, we have come to the end of the video. If you guys enjoyed it, leaving a like really helps out. If you're new around here and want to see more Borderlands, be sure to subscribe, and if you never want to miss a video I upload, you can turn notifications on by hitting that bell button. But guys, thanks as always for stopping by. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and hopefully I will see you on that next.